Cryptocurrency is basically an exchange of value. It's ultimately going to become the underlying layer to just about everything we do. Cryptocurrencies are ultimately going to take over fiat. The more you educate yourself, the more you empower yourself.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It is Thursday. Wow, April 23rd. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will let you guys know that I've been changing some settings and doing some things with my channel, trying to increase the quality of the stream. And I'm seeing chat is not in here, so that's interesting. So yeah, there's some different stuff going on. Actually, let me look at this real quick. I hate doing this stuff in a video, but the only way you can really adjust some of these things are when you're live. Okay, there's chat starting to pop. All right, I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, maybe it's just there's a delay that's set up in here. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to change the chat box because, you know, viewers can't really see what's going on in the chat unless they have this open. And so it's kind of weird. And I just wanted to, yeah, I kind of beefed up some things. I set my system to be running on hardware. I didn't realize there were settings that would allow me because I'm using an NVIDIA card. But I'm seeing a couple dropped frames notifications. And I'm not sure what is causing that because I'm not used to seeing that. So we'll see how things play out. Crow needs a scotch while he is live. So I also want to let you guys know, I did a video recently about pre-search and that I was very bullish on pre-search and that I was very interested in working with them. Good news, they have agreed and they said, yes, let's do something. That video that I did has apparently already helped them immensely. And so I'm actually pretty excited about it. I want everybody using this. Because it's just, A, it's extremely powerful. B, you can earn every time you do a search. I'm using Brave browser now, and I saw some comments recently about how you can plug in the pre-search extension into Brave, and you're right. So I can actually go into my title bar, type something in, and boom, it searches pre-search automatically. So I've got it all set up now. It's pretty bomb. And from this point moving forward, full disclosure, the creator or the CEO of Presearch has sent 100,000 Presearch tokens to my Presearch wallet. And the idea being, because here's the thing, this is the only downfall to Presearch right now. The whole mechanism behind like staking for keywords is kind of difficult because there are no traffic metrics. There's nothing in their system that will allow you to go in and say, I wonder how much traffic this keyword is getting on pre-search or that keyword. And I said, in order for me to really utilize this, I need a bunch of pre-search. And I said, on top of that, it's not that easy to get your hands on them. I mean, you can buy them, and they've actually shown me a lot of different things about how to create a wallet or open up a wallet, take that address, send pre-search tokens from wherever and all that. So they've been showing me how to use things. But a lot of stuff just references Medium articles and things. And I'm like, guys, you guys got to work on the user intuitiveness of the system because that's, if you want to compete with the likes of Google and other platforms, things are going to have to be extremely simple. And it's, if you have to direct people to Medium articles to explain things, it's too difficult. And so, they're working on a lot of things. But anyway, they did send me 100,000 pre-search tokens. And I'm using that to stake a whole bunch of keywords. And I'm because a lot of their traffic is also in Latin America. I mean, Venezuela and things like that. Their traffic within the United States is not that big yet. And I'm hoping to try and change that. I want to see more and more people in the US using pre-search. And I mean, just using this, I can search Google. I can search pretty much every searchable online database on the internet, and I can go in and select which ones I want to use as primary search algorithms and so forth. But I just keep it on D-Search, which is their decentralized search engine. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that moving forward, because I do plan on using pre-search a lot, talking about it, and they have sent me 100,000 tokens, and they've also said, if I run out and I'm really active and I'm staking a lot of keywords and I'm experimenting with the system and I'm doing all this stuff using it, that they will basically not necessarily give me another batch, but they will stake things for me. So basically whatever I need to do to like use the system, learn it, educate people on it, teach people how to use it, that sort of thing. So expect more videos in the future coming up about pre-search. And haircut looks sharp. Thank you. Is Crow's video called pre-search? No, it's just basically it's just in a little opening segment to let people get into the video, get into the live, rather than just kind of sitting around. So Bitcoin got a nice pump to 7,500, actually wicked up to almost 7,800, and this is on a daily chart. So we're seeing the moving average. It didn't even wick on that. It didn't even touch this moving average, but it temporarily broke out of, I'll call this the crypto Kirby box. Okay. I will honor crypto Kirby with this, because these are the, this is basically the, the mid-range box that, he's always talking about we need to break out of before we can expect to see this, which, I mean, that's obvious, but I get what he's saying. And that breaking below this box means that we could be heading into this area. And so we did break out of it, but then we settled back. So we ended up not clearing it and staying above it. But that's basically it's roughly, let's just call it the $7,500 mark. Which is odd. Wow, how is that making sense? It's got to be higher than that. No, I mean, we're at 75.21, so technically we are above this right now. So we'll see. Again, I want to reiterate, I'm still hoping to see an $11,000 Bitcoin, and hopefully some of the things that we talk about today, will help us get there. Loved your last video. Thank you. Now it's buffering. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of dropped frames. Let me see if I can change this on the fly, because it's not good. And I'm the number of viewers is going down, and it's just kind of weird. You cannot change these settings when you're live. That sucks. All right. Yeah, I increased my bit rate. I did a bunch of different stuff. So, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll get through this video and then I'll revert back to some of the original settings, and hopefully this stream won't be too bad. But anyway, all right, let's get to what's popping. So first thing I want to point out, Ethereum developers roll up their sleeves and hunt for a scalability cure. Now, I know that a lot of the problems associated with Ethereum lately have been involving scalability, and recently like security of a lot of these DeFi projects and things like that are trying to run on Ethereum. The Ethereum team has been trying to solve the blockchain scalability problem since 2014. During that time, solutions such as Raiden, Plasma, ZK Snarks, sharding, and rollups appeared in the developer's toolkit. However, the implementation of some of them were constantly delayed, while others proved to be of limited efficacy or power, or I guess you could say function. This was the issue until Ethereum's Istanbul hard fork was implemented in December of 2019, which gave hope that the network can finally become suitable for corporate use. Cointelegraph attempted to figure out whether the situation with the second largest cryptocurrency scalability has changed, and why not all the solutions have cut the mustard. Why should Ethereum scale? We already know. You have to be able to scale. And let's see, faster, but still not the world computer. Basically, the summary of the article is they're still trying to figure stuff out. Sharding increases Ethereum scalability by 100 times, and apparently not so much for Ethereum. And then Raiden, and it goes through all these different efforts. And the long and short of it is not much is really seeming to pan out. And then recently we just saw this. Vitalik calls for trustless bridges between Ethereum and other cryptocurrency. So it almost seems like they're really struggling to resolve this problem internally. So they're looking to create a trustless bridge to other cryptos that may be able to help. Maybe Cardano will be able to help with this in the future. We'll see. In a recent tweet, Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin calls for putting resources towards a decentralized exchange system between Ethereum and Bitcoin and between Ethereum and other blockchains. It's embarrassing that we still can't easily move between the two largest crypto ecosystems trustlessly. Solutions are on their way, as the hundreds of replies indicate. One of several under-the-radar projects that is on the verge of breakthrough in fixing underlying problems is Hybrix. Their token, which will live on a second-layer protocol, sees the light of day next month in May and is expected to bridge the blockchain's gaps differently. Okay, so this is basically, an issue, however, with this way of working is that in some situations, the bridge has to be built from both ways. If the blockchain supports smart contracts like Ethereum, atomic swaps are already supported. If there are no atomic swaps, like with Bitcoin, then compatibility needs to be built from the other chain side. I'm going to have to look into Hybrix a little bit more and find out exactly what they're doing. But I think it's interesting that now, and you know what? It takes a lot. I have to give Vitalik a lot of credit. Because when I see stuff like this and I see his transparency, he's basically saying, look, this is where we're weak. We've proven a lot of our strengths, but this is where we're weak. And we're looking to remedy that with a lot of other things. And hopefully by connecting to other blockchains and being able to utilize their strengths to fill those gaps. So I found that very interesting. And I really respect Vitalik a lot for basically coming out and being so open about this. Cardano will be the bridge. We'll see. Now this is the big news. First of all, a lot of people are familiar with Deutsche Bank. In 2019, Deutsche Bank reports huge losses. The German lender said its bottom line suffered because it paid severance to fired workers and wrote down the value of troubled assets. Come on now. Frankfurt, the Deutsche Bank reported a whopping loss for the last 3 months of 2019 for the full year as it cut staff and wrote down the value of assets, affirming its status as one of Europe's most troubled big lenders. The bank said it lost 1.5 billion euros or $1.6 billion in the last 3 months of 2019, bringing the total loss for the year to 5.3 billion pounds. In 2018, the bank effectively broke even for the year. And in the fourth quarter, the Frankfurt-based bank, once Europe's largest by assets, is in the midst of a desperate attempt to recover from years of scandal and mismanagement that have caused its share price to plummet more than 90% since 2007. So, and this has been an ongoing history with this bank, and they've had a lot of issues. And what I find very interesting is this. Deutsche Bank, vet bullish on crypto, launching Bitcoin trading desk in May. This to me absolutely blows my mind, yet cool. I don't know even what all to say about this, honestly. Deutsche Bank has long been bullish on crypto assets like Bitcoin, and the culture has spilled over into the company's executives. One of the bank's veterans and former FX Japan managing director is even launching a crypto trading desk of his own, set to launch this coming May in 2020. right when Bitcoin's halving is expected to drive significant interest in the asset class. Deutsche, whatever. I'm not German. I don't read German very well. There's no denying that crypto assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and more are high risk, high reward assets. But their future and potential are so promising, it's difficult not to be bullish on the digital currencies and at least consider them as part of a well-diversified portfolio. This is something, too, that I will show. I actually saw this on Altcoin Daily's channel, and he was actually going through this a bit and reading another article. But this is basically the April 2020 edition, the Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index, Bloomberg Crypto Outlook. So the synopsis of this: born from the financial crisis, Bitcoin maturation accelerating. Stock market shakeout accelerates Bitcoin's gold-like transition. Bitcoin futures taming bull calf toward digital version of gold. Bitcoin and gold showing convergence with endurance. COVID-19 supporting Bitcoin on-chain indicators dominance. COVID-19 may give LBRY life. Spur Fed's digital currency spirit. This is the most bullish thing I think I've ever seen come out of Bloomberg. And ultimately, it's a full-blown report with all the details of their assessment of Bitcoin, blockchain overall, you name it. I actually linked it in the Murder of Crows, my Telegram group. I linked a direct download to this. And so, go grab a copy and read through it. It's basically saying that, as we continue to move forward, Bitcoin has been proving itself to become the true digital asset, the true gold standard, as it's represented by a digital coin ultimately, and that its future is looking bright. They're very bullish on it. There's just a lot of bullish sentiment surrounding Bitcoin, and that they're looking for a big bull run coming soon. That they're basically seeing all of the indications that this is going to be huge at some point. And so when I see stuff like this, and then you see, banks now, like obviously not in the US, but I expect to see that soon. I honestly think, and I'd like to think, that once the United States has issued or established its own digital stablecoin, we're going to start seeing stuff like this happen with US banks as well. And I think that right now, a lot of these central banks are just trying to get their foot in the door. They're trying to get themselves set up with a solid foundation. They want their own stable coin to be able to trade in and out of. They want this is happening. This is coming. And I just, it's hard not to get a little excited when I see this kind of stuff, because the transition from where we were in the last bull market to where we are heading now and where we're at now. Think about this, folks. Who was it? I just saw something. Somebody was talking about how they expected to see a $300,000 Bitcoin. I think I saw something on Crypto Zombie because I watched his video this morning, and I thought, you know what? It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, that could very easily happen, especially as we're moving forward into this bull market. And we start transitioning from this kind of bearish accumulation, people preparing for the bull market, preparing for the next halving, all of this kind of sentiment growing. The momentum that we build, especially once we are able to find some resolution to this outbreak crisis and everything else going on a global scale, it's very likely that we're going to see some FOMO into the market like we've likely never seen before. And I think that's already happening with institutional investors. They're eyeballing a lot of assets. They're publicly accumulating Bitcoin, and it looks like apparently more of them are starting to accumulate more Ethereum. But, when you've got banks that are ultimately, looking for Bitcoin and the demand for Bitcoin to bail them out of their losses and their, and the thing of it is here these banks are looking to trade digital assets, which the whole very model of it is based around not needing banks. And now we're starting to see banks needing Bitcoin to keep afloat. It's the situation where they're either going to have to adapt and establish themselves through these digital assets or fall by the wayside and likely go away. Because there's going to come a day when it's no longer going to be a question of, do we need to continue bailing out these banks as they're continuing to screw the population and basically profit from the poor through their exorbitant fees, their business models, their fee structures that intentionally screw people based off of, if you've got 5 charges coming through, and you'll see, oh, well, the largest ones went through first, but now I'm getting dinged with all these fees for, I went over $1.50, but now I owe the bank $30 in overdraft fees. That shit is repugnant. And it's that business model that's driving more and more people to the idea of digital assets. And the fact that banks are now looking to digital assets to help bail them out, I think that's obviously a very good and bullish sign. Mixed with the sentiment of Bloomberg and their recent report and everything else going on, I can say this is pretty bullish. Now, I just saw somebody say this is a sell signal. No, of course they don't care about crypto. Of course they don't care. They hate it. But the fact that they are able to utilize it in its sentiment and demand moving forward as we head into this bull market and ultimately save themselves, that's what it's all about. I just saw Alicio do a video about the 3 lies of Wall Street, and he's basically talking about how Wall Street doesn't give a damn about us. And of course they don't. A lot of these Wall Street guys are so coked up and so greedy and so selfish and they basically look at us like lemmings. It's for them, it's a game. It's who can accumulate the most, who can afford the biggest yacht, who can afford the best parties, who can afford the nicest suits and the flashier cars, who can establish dominance over another in a very shark eat shark world. And it's that challenge, and it's a young man's game in a lot of sense, but it's not about compassion or empathy or any of that stuff. It's like you got to snort that stuff right out the window, because that's not the game. That's not the hustle. The hustle is money, greed, power, control, and they take these young guys out of college and they stick them on the phone and they make them say, have you ever seen the movie Boiler Room? It's a very similar mentality to what goes on in that movie Boiler Room, which I love that movie. It is honestly a great salesy kind of movie. To me, it was kind of an iconic sales movie, because it's very much how it is when these giant call centers dialing for dollars and manipulating people on the phone to try and buy shit stocks so that you can make a rip on commission. That's all these people care about. They don't care about us. Wall Street has never cared about the general populace. That's not their game. That's not what they're there for. They're there to make money, and that's it. So we'll have to see how this stuff plays out, but I also thought this was pretty interesting. Stellar rally. Once stagnant altcoin outperforms Bitcoin by 30%. The altcoin known as Stellar, or XLM, has stood strongly alongside XRP as 2 of the worst performing crypto assets of the last few years. But the asset's woes could soon be turning around after a significant rally against Bitcoin took place right under investors' noses. Is this another sucker's rally, or is Stellar about to finally stage a strong, full-scale recovery and kick off an altcoin season? This was 1 hour ago. Stellar pumped over 30% against Bitcoin, showing strong outperformance. After over 2 years of a bear market, a year straight in consolidation at lows, and a fall of over 90% from its all-time high, Stellar may finally be ready for a major recovery. Here's the thing. While some of these top coins like Stellar, XRP, and others are likely going to get some pretty decent pumps now as we start to move forward, once Bitcoin has met its original all-time high and starts to exceed it, a lot of that spillover, I believe, is going to go deeper and deeper into the altcoin market, and back and forth we start going. And that volatility is what's going to help drive up not only the price of Bitcoin into this bull market, but it's also going to start driving up a lot of these altcoin projects as well. And from there, it's going to be about, we're going to move so quickly as we move forward into this thing. And because so many people are waiting, it's going to be a question of, how many more people have been learning and educating and waiting for this moment prior to like the 2016, 2017 bull market. And so things are going to start getting really interesting. And I expect to see a lot of these projects do very well moving forward. But here's the thing, and this is one of the things that I am going to be looking at on a much deeper level than I did originally. Because while a lot of these projects in 2017, 2018, a lot of these ICO projects and things, I am going to be looking very much at use case moving forward. If it doesn't have a solid use case or a significant answer to a need for a use case, or it's to somehow supplements a use case, I'm going to be very much more critical on altcoin projects as we move into this the bull market, as we get deeper and deeper. Now, when projects like Dogecoin, who legitimately started off as a joke, are being traded and pumped and grow and keep up with the rest of the market, that tells me that even the most minute of use case coins stand to do fairly well in a bull market. But it's not necessarily going to be about doing well. It's going to be about what does the best, what's going to end up on top. How many of these projects are going to see and exceed their original all-time highs? And I think we're going to be surprised to see that a number of them do. And while a lot of people and their their sentiment has been that, oh, well, there's no guarantee these are going to reach their original all-time highs. That's a one-time thing. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think a vast number of these projects are going to be meeting and exceeding their original all-time highs. And I think that honestly, I think even some of the, like, BitConnect of all coins, you know what? I have not even looked at this in so long. Let me see. I want to see if BitConnect is still being traded, and if so, if it has been receiving any pumps at all. Because my theory is even coins like BitConnect, a proven, absolute shitcoin of the earth, a total scam project, okay? I'm willing to bet that in a green market, it goes up. Let's see. I could be completely wrong, but okay, so, it's inactive. Okay. BitConnect X is still trading. Wait a minute. What? How is this? So there's no volume. How is it up 56%? How is it $1? It was at 5 cents. No current data for BitConnect BCC. Last data input was April 23rd of 2020. Interesting. So, look, this crashed down to 5 cents and somehow it's gone to over $1. It's gone back up to over $1. I don't know where it's being traded though. Let's see. It's saying Pirate Cash DEX. So apparently it's being traded on some decentralized exchange. Well, interesting. So this apparently just got... the FBI is seeking potential victims in BitConnect investigation. I mean, I'm sure there are millions of them. So, yeah, I mean, my point, though, is that even the shittiest of crap coins that are just terrible and serve no purpose anymore are likely going to be pumping in a bull market. That's just the way it is. All right, let's take a quick look at chat. Wow, this is 30 minutes. I didn't expect it to go that far. Keep your feet on the ground. Yeah, and that's another thing too, guys. Just because we pumped up here, that doesn't mean we can't see another crash down. I mean, it does not mean anything. We have not broken above this and held yet. We need to break above this moving average and hold. We need to close above it. And because we haven't, and a lot of the structure that I'm seeing, we could break up. I mean, we could legitimately do this. Okay, we could. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. We could just as easily do this. Okay. And that's, I mean, we could do something like this, and something like this could be more likely, honestly, because with what's going on, a lot of people, they say, buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, the news has been getting quite bullish recently, and a lot of these big whales and a lot of these big traders are going to be more likely to sell into the hands of those reading these articles and buying, and then using that momentum to buy back in lower once they've pushed the price down. And that kind of transactional period takes a little while. So, we could see another week. We could see a strong dip down and then start to recover from that. Just like the video I did recently, could we see one last manipulated dip before we start to truly move up and beyond into the halving and past that? We could, and anything is possible. So, when I see situations like this, I don't even look for trade opportunity here. I would, if anything, my goal is to accumulate and average in over time. Because let's say I had $1,000 right now and I were looking to buy Bitcoin, I would likely buy $100 a day for 10 days. And, if the price does crash down, let's say I bought $100 worth today, $100 tomorrow. On that third day, the price dips down to $5,000 and I buy another $100 and another $100. It's very likely that my average buy-in price is going to be somewhere around $6,000 to $6,200 instead of just buying it at $7,500 and riding the wave down. That's what averaging in and out is all about. And so, to each their own, do what's comfortable for you. But ultimately that's kind of the name of the game. It is when volatility is as it is, and the sentiment is such that, you buy the rumor, sell the news. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and call it today. I want to keep this video a little short because I want people to recognize what's going on. I don't want them to blow this video off because it's an hour and a half long. So also, just to let you guys know, I'm working on, I'm rebuilding my website, and I'm building a new website, and I'll be announcing all those here pretty soon and showing them off and all that fun stuff. But, until next time, guys, thanks for joining me. Crow your coins. I'll see you again soon.